R. Kelly's lawyers.
R. Kelly's the singer recently convicted of sex trafficking minors. There was a slight uptick last week in first-time jobless claims up to 235,000. America's listening to Fox News.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Dell's Black Friday and July sale is here. Power productivity with a tech refresh. Now with up to 45% off top-rated laptops like the XPS, along with our special deals on business desktops with Intel Core processors. Get big savings on the latest servers, storage, monitors, and more with free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Upgrade today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Good Day Daytona. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Of course, that is the song Stay by Mike and Vin, the group out of Flagler County. They are actually a duo, a brother duo. They are fantastic. So thanks, Mike and Vin, again, for letting us use that song to open and close our show. We begin with our top stories of the day, of course, but we are going to be taking a dive in to the history of Daytona Beach. What are things like on beachside? What are their plans for the future? And we're going to talk to a couple of business owners that work beachside, tell us what they think, what they've talked to the mayor about and the plans for the future, what they think some of their obstacles are in running a business in Daytona Beach. And then we're also going to talk to them about making that Yelp 100 list, because 2 businesses from Daytona Beach got on that Yelp 100 list. But first, let's start with our top stories of the day. A Port Orange man arrested Tuesday. This is after police say that he beat a cat with a bat, tossed the animal down an embankment, and then beat it to death. Justin Gale reportedly seen standing with a woman outside of a home on Taylor Avenue. And according to witnesses, he then beat the cat with an 18-inch long bat. Police say Gale then allegedly walked across the street, threw the cat wrapped in a jacket toward a creek. Officers say that they found the bloodied bat, the white tank top he was allegedly wearing, and the beat up cat was on the embankment wrapped in a cheetah print jacket, just as witnesses had told them. So Gale now facing charges of animal cruelty, cruel death, and unlawful disposal of a dead domestic animal. He's been booked in the Volusia County Jail on $3,000 bond. Don't forget, though, there are tougher now laws for animal abuse. So he will be facing those tougher penalties. That law just went into effect last Friday, July 1st. So with Roe versus Wade overturned, the question lots of are asking are, what is it going to be like for women who need an abortion past 15 weeks? Well, there's a case from almost 50 years ago that is now might provide the answer. It's also sparking new conversation to Roe v. Wade and the whole illegal abortion. Chris Gollin has that story. So, our 15-week ban currently being battled over in the courts. So far, that ban is still in place. A judge said it was unconstitutional, a judge from Leon County, but the state immediately appealed that, which then put it back into motion. So currently, that 15-week ban is active. If someone is pregnant beyond 15 weeks, they cannot legally get an abortion now in Florida. Now, we spoke to Susan Wheeler. She is the news director of Slate. She is also the podcaster of the Slow Burn episode, which is featuring Shirley Wheeler. We spoke to her about the billboards that are popping up, not only in Daytona Beach, but across the nation. And there definitely could. We also spoke to a woman who said now that companies are offering to pay for travel for women that need abortions in states that aren't allowing them to get one, those companies now could be facing federal charges if those people are crossing state lines. So this is something that could very much become a reality. You can watch Slow Burn anywhere you can find your podcast. You can do it on Spotify, lots of different places. But again, it's called Slow Burn, and it really is a great informational, educational show. It also is quite scary that we are going back 50 years when it comes to women's rights or lack thereof. So parents, be prepared to get more involved with your kids' schooling because the president of the union that represents most of Volusia County teachers and support staff, they say that the county is short 365 teachers and 409 support staff. That's a lot. That's a big shortage. Now, it's partly to blame is the COVID-19, the pandemic, when we went through that, but also is the newly enacted laws. They have really added to the already high levels of stress and anxiety of those people that teach or instruct our children. So in an effort to attract faculty and staff, minimum wage positions were increased to $15 an hour, and the starting salary was up to about $47,500 a year. But what they didn't do is increase the long tenured teachers. So the teachers that have been there for a long time, they're not getting an additional pay increase. And they say that's really what needs to happen next. The union is, again, working closely to fill these voids. But for the meantime, you can probably expect that there is going to be that shortage when school starts next month. So just be prepared to really jump in and help your kids if they need it. So a contentious meeting may be ahead in Flagler Beach. It's happening this afternoon. Chris Gollin is telling us what we can expect. And his termination, it might be on the table. And it depends on how tonight's meeting goes for that employee. We'll definitely, of course, keep you posted and let you know if Whitson does, in fact, get terminated. Your time right now, 9:12. When we come back, we are talking about Daytona Beach, the history of the city, where we are now, and where the city plans to go as far as business is concerned. We'll be right back.
A semi-truck pulled in front of me.
A car slammed into me and my kids.
My husband was killed by another driver.
The insurance company made a small offer.
Not enough to pay for my medical bills.
All of these clients came to Ruin Ziffer when they were suffering, and we were able to help all of them.
Ruin Ziffer got me 4 times the original offer.
20 times the offer.
Enough to get my life back.
I put my trust in Ruin Ziffer.
I put my trust in Ruin Ziffer.
I'm so glad I put my trust in Rue and Zifra.
Hon,
Yeah?
did you know there's money going out our windows?
Huh?
Yeah, it's like flying out.
What windows? Why are you just standing there? Come on, let's go get it! Let's go get our money! Anyone seen money flying around out here? Which windows, hon?
I meant that metaphorically, meaning we need new windows.
Oh.
Abaco Windows for the fastest replacement anywhere. Abaco Window can update your home with hurricane impact windows and more. Get a quote in 24 hours. Abaco Windows, 386-202-2962.
Want to add value and appeal to your home? Make the professional choice and let Bowman Painting handle the job. Bowman Painting has been here in our community for over 15 years. We show up on time and do the job right with precision and attention to detail. From light custom carpentry to wallpaper removal, we can handle it all. That's what makes us one of the top painting services in Florida. Make your house come alive with the professional choice. Bowman Painting. Bowman-painting.com. Find us on Facebook. Bowman Painting.
If you're ready to be the best you, to feel better, to look better, the Muscle Clinic will make that happen. This physician-supervised personal training center was developed with you in mind. They've created a private exclusive gym that offers personal training and nutrition and is geared for those who are serious about their health journey. Stop making excuses. It's time for a better you. The Muscle Clinic, 5030 South Ridgewood Avenue, and online at therealmuscleclinic.com. Give them a call today for more information. 386-203-9103.
When I was a kid, lunch was my favorite part of the day. You know what? Lunch is still my favorite part of the day, thanks to Honey Baked Ham. They have a great selection of freshly made sandwiches with signature honey baked ham and turkey, deli sides, and more. It makes for a really great lunch menu. Call ahead or have it delivered. They can even cater your event. Honey Baked Ham, 345 Bill France Boulevard, behind the Volusia Mall in Daytona Beach. Online at honeybaked.com.
Not sure where to put your hard-earned money in these uncertain times? Own something tangible that has been around for thousands of years, like gold and silver. Daytona Coins buys and sells gold and silver coins, bullion, currency, sterling flatware, gold jewelry, and more. Gold and silver is an asset you can hold in your hand and pass down to your family. See Rick or Adam today. Daytona Coins in Port Orange at 3751 South Nova Road between Dunlawton and Herbert. Online at DaytonaCoins.com.
Good day, Daytona. Welcome back. 9:15 is your time. So the city of Daytona Beach has a long and storied history. You know, we remember the days back when it was spring break and MTV, and lots of people were so thrilled to see that go away. And then, of course, we had the Black College reunion. Lots more people really thrilled to see that go away. But now we have a lack of business in Daytona Beach. So why is that? We have an absolutely beautiful coastline. We've got great businesses that are in the area, delicious food. So why don't we have more business? What's going on beachside? I reached out to the mayor of Daytona Beach to see if they could come on, or the commissioner, Ken Strickland, to see if he could come on. They were both busy because it was very short notice. But I wanted to see what are their plans for the city. But for now, let's take a look at the past, the current, and maybe even the future of Daytona Beach with Chris Gollin. So I've talked to a couple of different people. One is the general manager at Hard Rock, and he said that a lot of the spring breakers that decided to come down and move down here don't want that spring break life anymore. And so the very people that participated in, the debauchery and the alcohol and the partying have now grown up, settled down, and don't want those same kinds of teenagers and people in their 20s coming back. So my question we've got a couple of guests with us. So we have got Donnie's Donuts. If you guys do not know them, Donald and Patty Summerlin, owners of Donnie's Donuts, they also made the Yelp 100 list, which is awesome. And they have a very interesting past as far as business-wise. So I want to talk to you guys about your experience, not only starting a brand new business that you had no experience in before, but what was it like setting up with the business and then kind of where you see the future of Daytona Beach going. So that's the first thing. And then the next thing is we've also got the owners of Redbud Cafe. You've been hearing them all morning. They were also on Yelp's 100 list. So Gordana and Drago are joining us this morning, and they're going to talk to us about their business as well. So welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for coming in here. Let's talk to you two, Donnie's Donuts. Tell me first about your background. So Patty, you were in advertising, right?
Yes, I had a 35-year career in managing advertising agencies.
How do you go from advertising? Why did you even think, okay, I think I'm going to start a donut business?
Well, it was about business, and we both had been in management and making business, but we had always been hack bakers at home. We're sweets nuts, always have been. We were the sweets house. If you came to our house, there was always cupcakes, cookies, cakes.
So a dentist is a close family friend.
Yeah.
For you guys, that's how it is for us.
So it just, when we finally decided on that as the business, we looked at, other things. Then we just went, we did a lot of research and
just took a dive.
Yeah.
Well, we researched the business for 8 months before we decided to do it.
But then it was a leap of faith.
Yeah, I mean, to me, 8 months is not that long when you're doing research on opening a business, especially something you're completely unfamiliar with. I mean, you were in logistics? What the heck is logistics? Like tracking, shipments, things like that?
No, I managed distribution networks.
Okay.
Ground transportation.
So again, nothing to do with donuts or baking?
Well, we use donuts to bring to our clients.
Okay, sure. So
we ate a lot of donuts.
Who makes the donuts?
I worked my way through high school and college, part of college as a biscuit maker for a company called Mrs. Winters in Georgia. So
you do have a baking background?
Yeah, I mean, it was when I was a kid, but we knew we could make the donut.
Okay, so who creates the recipes? Who does the baking? Do you two do that, or did you hire someone to do that?
So we came up with everything. We start with a commercial base, and then we add all natural flavors and emulsions to come up with our icings and our donuts. So literally, when we opened on Seabreeze, we didn't charge for the donuts.
You gave away donuts?
We made donuts. We tested recipes for 3 weeks.
Okay.
And gave the donuts away. And at the end of the 3 weeks, when we finally got the donut that we wanted and we got the proper response from the customers, then we opened.
How did that work? Okay, do you mind me asking, how much money was that? 3 weeks of baking and giving away donuts?
It wasn't cheap, but it was necessary. I mean, and everything that we do now came out of that 3 weeks. I mean,
really?
That
is a really smart plan.
We were named number 12 in the country for the donuts. The only other donut shop in the top 20 that wasn't from a city of more than 2 million was Asheville.
Oh, wow.
So we feel like with being number 12 in a city of 44,000, that's a lot.
That's a lot. So give us an idea of some of the flavors of donuts that you guys have. What are your most popular ones?
Well, we sell cake donuts.
Mm-hmm.
We have a vanilla cake donut, we have a chocolate cake donut, we have a blueberry cake donut, it's made with fresh blueberries. In the wintertime, we have an apple cider donut. Mm-hmm. We have a pumpkin donut. and there's some other ones that we do, but
And
we
we
take
do
that
vegan donuts.
and we do vegan donuts.
Oh, wow.
We do vegan Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then we take those cake donuts, and you can either have them plain, or when they're hot, we roll them in sugar, or you can have them with Miss Patty's icings on them. Now, Patty created all the icings and all of the decorating. You see the way that each of the decorating.
Yeah.
So.
Let me ask you something. How is it you two aren't morbidly obese? You are really thin, because these donuts look amazing.
It's
I've
hard.
had them
It's hard
before.
work.
It is hard work, but it's also good eating.
Yeah.
It is. We created a donut we wanted to eat.
Yeah. Everything in the shop is to our
Everything
taste.
is to our taste. The
Okay, but are
coffees,
you actually eating them? Because you're super thin.
Mm-hmm.
We eat them all the time.
Are you serious?
My favorite is a chocolate cheesecake. It's our chocolate donut.
That sounds good.
A little bit of cream cheese in the center, chocolate around the icing, chocolate icing. She's the one that. What's the chocolate cheesecake?
Chocolate icing, and then cream cheese, Oreos, and a caramel drizzle.
Good Lord, that is sugary.
So when we put that together, it
I bet
was
it's amazing.
We were literally sitting there. I like chocolate cheesecake. We were like, how do we make that on a donut?
Well, our son made that donut.
Oh, that's right.
That is
Right.
fun. So you guys just kind of come up with ideas and put it together.
Yeah.
And make it into
We
donut.
try to emulate
Desserts.
Americana desserts.
I like that.
Like strawberry shortcake is my favorite dessert. I mean,
Banana pudding.
One thing that my career did for us was we got to travel all over the world. And one thing we came back with was a palette. and a knowledge of, if you're going to do something, do one thing
really well.
Really, really well.
Looks like you guys are following
those
that.
have these menus that, it's just.
Gordana
it's
said the
hard
same
to-
thing. Gordana said the same thing. Now, first of all, she said a couple of things that you said. You were talking about the palette from your traveling. And you were also talking about, it's like the same things that you are saying as well. So that is very interesting. Okay, so palette, and then the second thing?
To make what you already like to eat.
What you already like to, and then condense it. Don't have such a big menu with all those different options.
Yeah.
Right. We don't do anything but cake donuts.
Okay.
And then the best coffees and teas. Our teas are direct trade out of Thailand from a women-only owned co-op. So what we give our customers is what we intake ourselves. So that's very important to us.
I wonder if that's why both of your businesses were recognized, because they're not a generic taste. They're authentic, and you were also saying too, with the different cultures and stuff that you put in that food. I'm wondering if that's what it is. You guys enjoy it so much, and they're not tastes that we can get anywhere else. You think that's what it is? I mean, to make the Yelp 100 list, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
So tell me your story. So we know how Gordana told us her story of how she found out everything. How did you guys find out that you made that list?
They called us.
They called us.
And
Actually, they sent us a note saying that we had made the top 100 donuts in the country, and we've done that before, and it was
It's awesome.
fantastic. He
But
wanted
we
us-
were busy.
We were very busy. He had a list of questions for us to answer, and we were like, I don't
didn't
have
have
time for that. And then he called us directly and said, you made the top 20. You need to figure this out. And so we we put together the interview, and that's where we went.
Has it done anything for your business? Have you noticed that you guys are getting more customers because of this?
We have, yes, we've noticed it. And they let us know, oh, we read about you, or we heard about you on the radio. We got that yesterday.
Really?
And
awesome.
And then we posted on social media too. So then they looked it up, and yeah, they definitely say, oh, we saw that you made the list, and congratulations.
Yeah, I haven't even had time to post it on social media. So
Yeah, you don't even need to. I
Well,
think
we run
you got
in
the word
3
out.
businesses. I mean, it's busy.
Now, you guys just opened a new one at One Daytona, right?
Correct.
A year ago, this past week.
Actually, that is who we've got on the phone as well. I believe, right, Phil? One Daytona. Good morning.
Hey, how are you, Trey?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm just fantastic. It's nice to get on the phone and hear some familiar voices.
Is that Matt?
What's up, Donald? How are you?
Is that Matt? Yeah, it is Matt, isn't it?
So Matt, when you found out that Donnie's Donuts, one of your tenants made the Yelp list, what came to mind? I'm sure you weren't very surprised though.
Well, first thing I wanted to do is find out where they ranked, and so what was that, guys? 12th.
Yeah.
So that's just awesome. No surprise from me, to be honest with you. Great product, great people. So a lot to be proud of over there.
Awesome. So you guys are working on some things coming up. Next week you've got a big festival coming up, right? The Swerve Fest?
So yeah, next Saturday we will have the folks out from Swerve. That's a kind of a tuner and exotic car show. It's free and open to the public, and they'll kind of take over one Daytona, including Victory Circle, Daytona Boulevard, the Toyota lot. Could see upwards of 200 to 250 cars and a handful of vendors, and got some kind of fun things taking place. The Swerve team is a lot of fun. They like to keep things pretty active. So looking forward to that. That is next Saturday, July 16th, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., Swerve.
And there's a dance competition? I want to see that.
I'm sure. I'm sure we'll be going live on occasion, and I'm sure the Swerve social media team will be doing the same. I'm looking forward to seeing the dance competition as well.
I heard that you were going to be in the twerking competition they had, Matt.
Sorry, Matt.
I've yet to select the category.
Okay. And then tell me about Summer in the Circle concert series.
Yeah, so Trey, I don't know if you've been out to One Daytona recently, but we just completed kind of a turf project, what we're calling Victory Circle Enhancements. This is making Victory Circle that much more family-friendly for all our guests at One Daytona. And so as part of that, and knowing it's summertime, starting July 22nd, that's Friday, July 22nd, from 6 to 9 p.m., we'll host some of our familiar favorites out here at One Daytona, out in Victory Circle on our brand new Victory Circle stage. We'll kick off July 22nd with Our Friends Electric, and then we'll do that basically 5 Fridays in a row. And kind of one of the ones I'm looking forward to is August 12th, where we'll have dueling keyboards out on the stage, so that should be fun.
Oh, I love dueling keyboards. I haven't seen that since the cruises. Man,
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds great. Okay, and then Daytona Hotel's summer pool parties. Now, we have a pool, but this one sounds like way more fun. Can you tell me about that one? I might want to take my son.
Yeah, so first of all, if you've not seen the Daytona Hotel's pool, it's very hip and cool and modern, and it's really a cool spot to have events. So summertime, it's hot. Everybody wants to get out and cool off, and the pool is a great way to do that. So they have options for Friday nights, which I would consider more of an adult focused. And then I do believe, so Friday nights, 5 to 10 p.m., Saturdays, 12 noon to 5 p.m. Check out the DaytonaHotel.com and follow them on social media to keep up to date. They do a lot of really cool events. They have wine dinners and a lot of other things. And if you've not been to the Blue Flame or the Blue Flame patio, I would highly recommend it. It would be a great spot to take in our summer concert series. They also have something cool up on the patio, which probably not too many people know about. But they have self-tapping tables where you can purchase a mini beer keg from the bar, sit at the table, they tap it, and you just pour it for you and your friends all night. So check that out.
That sounds like fun, too. Man, you guys know how to party.
We do.
All right. I'm coming over to your house, Matt, after the pool party.
From sun up to sundown. You start with donuts and coffee and finish with a pool party at the Blue Flame.
That sounds like fun, Matt. Thank you so much from One Daytona. Your time right now is 9:31. When we come back, we're going to talk doing business in Daytona Beach. Where is it going? Is it difficult? Does the city make it more difficult than it needs to be? And what can they do to kind of streamline that process to welcome more businesses? We'll talk about that when we return.
For the top of your house, you want the tops in the trade. That's WKL Roofing. We have our own crews, never a subcontractor, to install all roof types with professional workmanship. Whether it's a new roof or repair, as well as cleanings, accessories, siding, soffit, and fascia, we do it all. Plus, we have an insurance specialist on staff to help you with your claims. We're a family-owned company you can trust. When you see one of the big black trucks from WKL Roofing, you know everything's going to be okay. Go to WKLroofing.com.
Sometimes you just need a little help. And for those times, you can call Bill Partington. If you need a key, call Bill 253-9766. If you have a broken lock, call Bill 253-9766. You can bring the broken lock to Bill, or he will send a locksmith to your home or business to install a new lock. If you need a safe to keep your valuables in, call Bill. Visit the AHC Safe and Lock factory authorized showroom and get an education on safes. If you need a remote key for your car, either repaired or replaced, call Bill 253-9766. Call Bill at AHC Safe and Lock. If you need a little help, you can find Bill at 54 West Granada Boulevard or call him and he'll send an AHC locksmith to you. Bill is a certified master locksmith and an architectural hardware consultant. He's been here since 1953, so he's old. Old is good. If you need a little help, call Bill. AHC Safe and Lock. Call Bill, and help is on the way.
At Advent Health for Children, our goal is to make the hospital experience more comfortable for our littlest patients every season of the year. That's why this summer we're celebrating Christmas in July. You can make a gift that provides the emotional, educational, and developmental support kids need to feel whole while in the hospital. Share some holiday cheer early this year and visit adventhealth.com/Christmas in July to donate today.
If your home or business isn't as comfortable as you'd like it to be, depend on the always reliable and family-owned Cunningham Oil to service your AC and heat. At Cunningham, you will always speak with a live person no matter what time of day you call. No voicemail here. We also have propane, non-ethanol gasoline, gas grills, gas fire logs, and more. For a great price and quick service, visit CunninghamOil.com. And don't forget to visit our Daytona Gas and Grill showroom, 201 Ridgewood Avenue, Holly Hill, just 1 block north of Mason.
Uh-oh. 2 problems, 1 solution. Boss Garage Door and Screen Solutions. Here's help for damaged house screens of all sizes, plus top-notch garage door installation and repairs. Boss Garage Door and Screen Solutions, located at the corner of 3rd and Carswell Avenue in Holly Hill. Call 882-BOSS. Go to bossgaragedoor-screens.com to find out the other services we offer. Big or small, we door or screen them all. The boss of garage door and screen repair. Call 882-BOSS.
Good day, Daytona. Welcome back. 9:35 is your time. So we are talking about where is Daytona Beach going, where it's been. We know that it's just a beautiful site. So Donnie's Donuts used to be on Seabreeze. You guys said that you had to leave after Hurricane Matthew?
Yeah, the hurricane ripped our roof off.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that was, I don't even remember, what year was that?
2016, October of 2016.
Yeah, the day Hurricane Matthew came in was a Friday, and that was also the day we got named the #1 donut shop in Florida.
No.
And that was also the day we closed down.
Oh my gosh. So
it was also the day that we were supposed to sign the lease on our current building in Ormond. So we were expanding. We were going to expand to 2 locations, and it all happened on one day.
Oh my god.
And the Seabreeze location was just too. The rain damage was too much. So
why didn't you want to stay on that side though, on Beachside?
We are on Beachside.
Oh, you stayed on Beach. Okay, so where did you move to? Because you're in.
We're essentially at Granada Boulevard and A1A.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. I didn't know there was one there. I'd only been to the. Okay, gotcha.
Yep, that's our main location.
Yeah, we've been there since January of 2017. We were closed for 3 months.
Do you have one up here at Tomoka?
No, just
okay.
No,
just there. Okay, so I'm getting my donut places mixed up. I gotta get them right. Okay, so tell me how has it?
There's no comparison.
No comparison.
So, yeah, we have 3 locations: Ormond on Granada. We have one Daytona and New Smyrna Beach.
Oh, New Smyrna. Okay, those are your 3 locations. Are you guys expanding still?
Yes.
You plan on, wow. So where are the other 2 going to go? Or is it 5 total you want to do, or you don't know yet?
We want to do as many as we can do.
Are you going to franchise?
We're looking for capital partners now.
Okay. All right, so you've loved doing business here. They've made it pretty simple for you, right? I mean, it's donuts, so it's not like you need additional licenses, really.
Right.
Okay.
What we do is very straightforward and simple.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's talk about, because we were talking, Gordana and Drago, we were talking about Redbud Cafes and how you guys were trying to get a beer and wine license and how there was lots of red tape. Now, this is not the first I've heard of this before. When I talk to people and say, why don't we have more here? Why aren't there bigger and, more businesses? And lots of business owners have said to me, it's because the city makes it very difficult to do business. There's a lot of red tape. There's a lot of hoops that you have to jump through. And they relayed it to me almost like it was almost a deterrent for businesses to open. That's what they felt. And so in some cases, they just got tired of the battle and stopped. You guys went through I know that you said Mayor Henry came into your store, complimented you, told you of plans, but there was also some obstacles as well.
So our hoops that we jumped through were relatively easy. We would go in, ask questions, and they would tell us what we had to do, and we would go back and forth and do whatever we had to do. Our number one obstacle was the beer and wine license. We did the fingerprinting, background check, and everything, and Tallahassee approved us, but then Daytona didn't. And the reason that we couldn't get approved was because we didn't have a hood. There's some sort of odd law or requirement that every establishment that wants to have a beer and wine license or alcohol license needs to have a hood.
And a hood is for the exhaust, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Didn't really make sense to us, but we abided. And so for the last 4 years, we haven't been able to sell any alcoholic drinks, which we're kind of a breakfast brunch place, so people expect, like Bellini or whatever. And so now we finally have a hood, and we've started the process again, and hopefully, in the next month or so, we'll have the license. But that was our biggest obstacle. So
because you make crepes, you don't need an exhaust in your kitchen.
No.
But you had to install that $6,000, about $6,000, right? So you could sell. And so when you went to the city and said, is there like an exemption, or do you asked like, we don't need this, why do we have to pay this extra money? Did they give you an explanation?
They said that was the law. And even when we approached it with the mayor, which he's lovely, he said he would look into it, but he couldn't change it. Eventually, that was what he said, is, I'm sorry, that's the law, and we can't change it. Because basically they said, if we change it for one business, then we have to change it for everyone. And I understand that, but that's our
no
biggest
reason.
thing.
Yeah, but see, I hate it when people use that excuse. That's always the way we've done it, for a reason not changing something that clearly needs to be changed. That's a terrible excuse. If you are going to change it, then you do like we do all our other ordinances and laws. Beginning today, this is the new law. And other businesses can be grandfathered in, but that's all you have to do. It's really not that difficult, which a lot of government bodies, I feel, make everything more difficult than they need to. I think back in the day when we had to wait for like snail mail to come through and sign documents and signatures, but now with electronic things, the wheels of government really shouldn't be still moving this slow. That's what I think. So what do you think are some additional things that the city could do to get more businesses to come and set up shop? Because now you and I were talking about this as well. I go to St. Pete a lot, and I love how it's there, how there's a lot of small businesses. You don't see a bunch of Krispy Kreme donuts. Instead, you see the mom and pop shops on the St. Pete streets and stuff. So that's the kind of things I would love it if they could do, is make things a little more eclectic and have more individuality and not that generic thing. What do you guys think this city needs to really improve our economy and get more people here? Not the wrong people, but maybe more families here. What could we do?
Jobs.
Yeah.
Jobs.
We're in a little bit different situation, but I see some of the other restaurants on the beach side really struggle, because 5 months out of the year we're a small town, and then the other 6 or 7 months we're a small city. And that change in just the available customers hurts a lot of business on the beach side. So you're crazy for 6-7 months while the weather's good, and then that transitional winter time comes and there's no customers.
So
all these places are going through this sort of
cyclical business.
Yeah, ball and chain kind of hammer throw kind of thing. And honestly, having been from Atlanta, what I feel like we need here is jobs.
High-paying jobs, not $15 an hour jobs, right?
Right. You know, being from the logistics business, this is a perfect place to service not only Florida, but anywhere that's in 10 hours from here.
How does the events, the convention center, does that bring a lot of businesses to Beachside?
So our street is a little bit off the beaten path, and so it doesn't really. In the night, yes, because there's a lot of bars and so on, so people are looking for those kind of places. But during the day, not so much. So we're constantly doing social media, and we're doing specials, and we even do like special evenings, like special evening dinners where we have the prefix, like $35 for an appetizer main and so on. And so we have a loyal following on social media, and that helps. But the convention center we get some people, but not as much as we could, because we're slightly off the beaten path.
So
for us, I'll answer that. We're the exact opposite of that. Yeah, we get a lot from the convention.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, and you think it's geographical? It's just because of where you're located?
We're much further away than they are.
But you're on
I think it's our social media. We do a lot.
Okay.
And it's just been, we're now 7 years. So especially those people that are coming to those events that have been there every year for a very long time. The bodybuilding, that's huge. They love
I wouldn't expect people from bodybuilding to go get donuts.
As soon as it's over.
They'll come
As soon
get
as it's
an
over,
entire dozen and eat it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And we get them just before, where they're like, we need, eggs, we need protein. Seriously.
Exactly.
Do you really?
We need the fresh squeezed juice. That's when we get them, and then you get them after.
That is pretty funny.
So the cheerleaders have been here
Yeah.
for all these years, the dance teams, and they just, we have people that this is their 7th year of coming and seeing us. And I think that's the biggest compliment that we could be given.
Yeah.
Is that people come year after year after year. And then there's, like right now, there's people, oh my God, I hadn't had my donut in 2 years, because of COVID and things. And
so what other things could we do? It doesn't have to be just the city, but what can we do to make this place, to get the word out and make it more inviting for businesses?
I think deregulate for small businesses, actually.
Deregulate what?
Like the business licenses and the liquor licenses, and for the beer and wine.
Well, yeah, that's one. But I think maybe if we could do something that is family oriented, so that you see Daytona not just as it's Bike Week or it's
NASCAR,
right? But sort of what they did with Las Vegas. That Las Vegas is a family destination now.
It is.
It is Sin City, quote unquote. But I know plenty of families that take their kids because they have resorts and things. So people take their entire family, and so if they could, or New York, for example, Times Square is very kid friendly and family friendly.
See, I think that's part of the marketing strategy that we need to approach it, and I don't know what they're actually doing, so I can't really say whether they're doing it well. But I think that's a marketing approach that we need to get some kind of message that's framed that we welcome families. Like, if you want to come here and get drunk, naked, and obnoxious, please don't. Stay home. But if you want to come to a beautiful place with great people and wonderful food, so I'm wondering if they've tried that approach. But I do also, Drago, I think you're right. I think making it easier, streamlining processes, and taking away some of the requirements needed and licenses needed, or maybe waiving some of those fees, that does make it easier for people to open a business, especially since we know the first year of your business, you're not turning a profit for the most part. How many years does it take before they say you should expect to turn a profit when you open a business? Is it 3 years?
Right? Yeah.
3 years. So, I mean, to make all of these hurdles and fees and everything, I feel like you're really putting them in a position where you're not allowing them to open up. Any other ideas of what we might be able to do? Because I do think the convention center is beautiful, and I think that we could definitely market that better as well.
Well, it does, and I think there's lots of, there's lots of businesses that do really good business or helping promote. You just got the 100, top 100. We're number 12 in the country. There's other places that have reached different things as well. But I don't see them promoting those things in their portfolio.
I don't see a whole lot of promotion, period.
From an advertising standpoint.
I gotcha.
You accentuate your positives, even in your business and your, and
so you don't think businesses do enough self-promotion?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the businesses can only do so much.
So the city.
So you think the city needs to help promote the businesses that have been
and visitors
recognized?
Bureaus, the Discover this, well, let's go in and discover what's really made these top lists and promote them to bring in, what brings in more families than donuts?
And
eating
in general.
Eating in general.
Yeah.
And eating in general. So
what
there
about
are
the
some
homelessness
really nice
problem? Do you think the homeless beachside or just in Daytona in general, do you think that is a deterrent for some people visiting?
I mean, it's gotten better. Yeah.
It has? Okay.
Yeah.
Since that ordinance that they put in?
Yes,
the
I
panhandling
think.
ordinance? Okay.
They probably see it more than we do. We don't really see it as much. I mean, there's a little bit in Ormond, but they manage it. Like I said, I don't see it like we did on Seabreeze.
But it's improved since you guys left.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
It's improved.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
good
sure
news.
they built new shelters. You know, that helps.
It's funny. So I was when I was walking my dogs yesterday. There is a sober house that's on Ridgewood, and so Ridgewood is one of the streets that I run a lot. And they just sat in the middle of the sidewalk, there was 3 guys, just blocked the sidewalk. So I had to walk out onto the grass and almost in the road to walk around them. And I was gonna not say anything, and then I just stopped and I was like, no, this is ridiculous. And I said, can you guys at least move to the side? You see I've got 2 dogs. I'm running down the street. You're sitting and blocking the entire sidewalk. Can you at least share the sidewalk with those of us that do pay taxes? And it just came out. And they were like, oh, I'm so sorry. And so I started to, they kind of moved out of the way. And the one guy said, I do have a job, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, that's good. And I said, and he said, no, I do have a home. And I said, that's great. Let's treat this like it is our home and take care of it and respect it. And so I went home and then I came back with water and I sat down and I talked to him. And I said, I'm always having these experts that are talking in about what we need to do to solve this issue. But I wanted to just come and talk to you guys. Let's ask you, what can we do as a city, as a community, to help you get back on your feet so you can contribute back to society? And the first thing he said was housing. You could give us housing. He said, I just got kicked out of my apartment, with my roommate. He just kicked me out. I just got a job and was starting to get things back. Now I've got no place to live. So what do I do? Where do I sleep? Where do I shower so I can go to work the next day? And so I said, well, what about all of the other shelters out there? I said, I know that there are at least 3 in the area. And he said one was way out too far. Another one had too many rules. And I said, well, maybe rules and discipline is actually what you need to get back on your feet. And so he said, okay. And another guy starts going off and, there's no shelters. And I was like, I'm not talking to you right now. Because I said, I've actually had the CEOs of 3 shelters on my show. I know they exist. So I said, I'll come back and talk to you another day. But I am wondering, this is now obviously a problem for the homeless because they don't have a home, but it's also a problem for people that can't even pay their bills. So yesterday on our show, I had Senator Tom Wright, and Senator Wright had said that they had some billion-dollar figure, like $7 billion in a rainy day fund. So I ask you guys, if this homeless problem is such an issue, and for families that are working 2 and 3 jobs that can't even pay their rent, can't afford housing, why shouldn't we be using these rainy day funds to resolve that problem?
Well, it's obviously a rainy day when you have to work 3 jobs to pay your rent.
But shouldn't a rainy day fund be used for what I'm considering a crisis, an emergency?
We deal with, our employees, they're fantastically hardworking people, and we pay them really well. But they struggle to find a place that's not $2,000 a month.
Exactly.
And that's a hurdle. That's going to be a hurdle that we're all going to continue to deal with because, we can elevate the area with successful business planning, policy, all that stuff. All that does is drive the property values up.
Exactly.
So there becomes a point where you can't pay somebody $75,000 a year to be a dishwasher.
Right.
And if they have to have $75,000 a year to live in a decent place, then there's a problem with that.
There's definitely
how it's fixed. We're a capitalist private market country. How do we deal with that? We have to work within what we do.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to pitch in. We've got to all realize that we're all in this together, and that the only way forward is together. Everybody.
Absolutely. You guys ever think about like how we could better solve this problem? I always think of like the mobile homes or all of the empty plazas that we have. Like, isn't there a way to take some of these structures that are already existing and sitting empty and maybe you have to put lots of money into it, but maybe it winds up being a place where we can have people where they can have some respect for the self-pride and respect and a place to sleep. I don't think that's asking too much.
Where we're from in Georgia, a lot of the outer-lying counties from Atlanta have, leftover cotton mills that don't get used anymore. One of the places like Cherokee County, which is just north of the city, the county actually bought the cotton mills and turned them into housing, but it's rent controlled.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So you have, there's a certain ceiling,
right,
that you can
income
earn
ceiling,
right,
yeah,
exactly. And all of the places are clean, they're nice, they're safe.
And
it's like a regular place, but the county did it as a way to help with their housing issue.
So yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. I don't think there is no think. They're not doing enough to resolve this issue. It's been going on for way too long. If we can enact a law to resolve non-existent problems like critical race theory and, teaching kids about gender or whatever, if we can find money and time to create those laws, we should find time and money to create a solution for a problem that affects so many people in our area. And it does in one way or another affect all of us. So even though you guys aren't dealing with housing issues, some of your employees are. Yes. And even if some of your employees aren't, some of your customers are. Yes. So it's all a direct correlation. And I don't understand why they won't find an immediate solution to it, because they think they can do better. If we can have whatever billions of dollars in a rainy day fund, what are we holding on to it for when there is an immediate crisis of people having to live in their cars working 3 jobs? That's insane. So we need to do something. So let's end on a high note. Because it just makes me so sad when I see people struggling, doing the very best they can, and they still can't make it. Yeah. I mean, what's there to look forward to in the morning? So again, I want you to share the story with how you found, I know we played it earlier, but just share the story of how you found out about the whole Yelp thing. And then tell me, both if you guys would, plans for your businesses in the future.
I received a DM on Instagram, and when I first received that, I honestly thought that it was fake. Right? I thought that either they wanted to sell me something, or maybe it was, like someone selling me a bridge, basically. But then at the very end of the DM, the woman that contacted us said, "And I'm not trying to sell you anything. This is legit," and so on. And they said that we had to be quiet about it until the 21st of June, which was terrible. Of course, I wanted to share it with the world, yes. Right? And I did share it with my mom, and she said, "Oh, okay, great." And then a niece. I was like, you've got to hear this, but I didn't share it with anyone else. And finally on the 21st, no one called us. We Googled it. I Googled it because I thought, today's the 21st. They should have called us. They should have done something. So I Googled it, and I found Yelp, top 100 restaurants in Florida. And there we were, number 13. And I let out a scream, which my mom thought something happened. And I was like, no, remember the Yelp, ah! And then I was super, super happy because I told you, growing up in Italy, number 13 is the luckiest number. It's like hitting the jackpot. So I was happy that we were in the 100, but 13 was even bigger, even better. So yeah,
congratulations.
It was awesome.
That
Thank you to you too.
That is so awesome. And then why don't you tell us real quickly if you what your menu is like, because I know we didn't get to cover that this time, but the crepes and then the different flavors that you have.
So yeah, so we decided, much like you with the cake donuts being the base, we have crepes. And then we fill them with all sorts, savory and sweet fillings. And we also picked all flavors that we liked. So I liked chicken and creamy mushroom. My husband liked Argentinian beef because of the chimichurri sauce. My brother, Drago, wanted a Thai crepe. And so that's what we did. We just made everything that we liked. And then my mom chimed in with, like, what about strawberries? We need to have strawberries. So that's how we evolved. And then we realized that not everyone is going to like crepes, so we made one that is like a breakfast crepe, so it has eggs and ham and cheese in it, because there's always one person in the party that says, I didn't even want to come here. They dragged them, and then usually that's the person that's like, we've got to come back here, So
that is so awesome. So what's in the future for your business?
So we want to, once we get our beer and wine license, God willing soon, we'll open up at night. And then we'll expand to the next building. We have a second building next door. And there we will do more traditional Bosnian Serbian dishes that's what we are. So we'll keep the crepes and keep the desserts and coffees, but we'll also have like a more restaurant.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait for that. And for you guys, you said an expansion. You're still expanding, right?
Yes.
You've got you're going to do...
Looking beyond.
Looking beyond. All right. Donnie's Donuts and Redbud Cafe owners, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So it's just about 10 o'clock. We will see you back here tomorrow morning. Don't forget to get your donuts. That's after you get your breakfast crepe. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.
We are WNDB Daytona Beach, proud to be locally owned, a Southern Stone communication station.
This is a Fox News alert. Brittany Griner pleads